All right. So just let me know that in case if some error comes again, I think right now everything is fine. So we were discussing about the chapter of general meeting, and the first question comes like, what are the types of meetings? Directors meeting is very much known as the board meeting. Members meeting is known as the general meeting. So third point, what I told that directors need to appoint so many committees. So third is the committee meeting, right? Fourth one is debenture holders meeting. Fifth one is, I would say, creditors meeting, and so on, right? But out of all, what is in our syllabus is the second part, and that is the members meeting, right? That is the general meeting. Okay? So my second question is, what are the types of general meeting? Write down types of general meeting. So according to the Companies Act 2013, now we have this three kinds of, I would say, classifications are possible. The first one is AGM. Second one is, I would say, EGM. And the third one, what we have in our syllabus is, I would say, CM. In fact, the CM is one of the types of EGM only. AGM, full form, all of you know, annual general meeting. I think that you people know very much. EGM stands for, I would say, extraordinary general meeting. Extraordinary general meeting. And CM stands for class meeting. So these are, I would say, the three different types. Right? Okay, the characteristics. AGM is getting held once in a year, and it is compulsory to hold. It's not like a voluntarily you can, if you want, you will, and if you do not, you are not. It is mandatory to be held, and if you do not hold honor before the given time, the law says you, all the directors and the officers will be punishable. Look, extraordinary general meeting is, okay, you know that it is compulsory to conduct one AGM, right? But what if you have some emergency task? Some emergency task. For example, appointment of auditor. Immediately you have to appoint the auditor. Now you cannot wait for the AGM. So immediately you will call the meeting in between for the shareholders to discuss certain points, what can be allowed and what can be passed only and only by the shareholders. Alteration of memorandum, special resolution, only shareholders. Alteration of articles, again special resolution, only shareholders. You want to issue the buyback beyond 10% special resolution, shareholders. So you cannot wait for annual general meeting. You have to call it in the middle. So guys, any meeting other than AGM is known as what? EGM, right? So write down here, the answer would be general meeting other than general meeting, just a second. other than AGM is equal to EGM. That was the simple formula. So yes, I can say that generally EGM is called up to call what? Some emergency meetings. Class meeting is the first time allowed in the history of the corporate law. Generally, in the Companies Act 1956, what was the scenario? If you wanted to call the general meeting, it was compulsory to invite all the members. Now listen to my words, whenever I am speaking about all the members, what does it mean? Members do not include only equity shareholders, but it includes both preference shareholders as well as equity shareholders. So you had to have invited all of them. This is for all. In the past, whenever you wanted to call, you had to have invited everyone. But in today, what happens? You tell me one simple logical thing, like if I have the work with section A, does it make sense to call section B, C, and D, all of them? No. Make sense or not? If I have some things to deal with section A, why should I call the students of B, C, and D? Students, are you getting me? So first time in the history, guys, the class meeting is allowed that if you have work, if you have discussion regarding equity shareholders, it is fine if you don't invite preference shareholders. If you have some discussions about preference shareholders, you don't call equity shareholders. Not only to that, if you have something to discuss about the cumulative preferences, don't call non-cumulative. So when you are allowed to call only one particular class's shareholders and not all the members and all the shareholders, then this is known as what? This is known as what? Class meeting. So in the class meeting, what will happen? Particular class can be invited. Particular class may be invited. And law doesn't raise any objection. Yeah, in 1956, this facility was not available. In 2013, it is there. All right. Am I clear? So these are the three types of general meeting. All right. Now, third question, it's a very general question, not that much important as far as your exam is concerned. Why? Okay, what is the significance? What is the significance of general meeting? What's the significance of general meeting? What's the significance of general meeting? General meeting का significance क्या है? So we know that authority, most of the management is done by the authority known as board of directors. Yes or no? But board of directors for so many, I would say many decisions, they are dependent on the shareholders' decision. Law has confined their rights only up to certain level, right? If they want to cross those levels, directors cannot perform until and unless the consent from the shareholders is taken. Got my point? There are so many points I can say where you board of directors cannot proceed further until and unless either ordinary resolution or special resolution is passed. In fact, do you know, guys, according to section 180, all you are belong to fourth semester, this question may come because I will come there. Powers of board. Maximum borrowing power of the company. Board of directors can borrow the money without asking the shareholders only up to certain level. And beyond that, if company wants to go, it must have to pass the special resolution. Otherwise, it is not allowed. Section 180, I am telling you. In fact, the same question was asked like a few attempts back. Company wants to go for the debentures. And what section 180 says that maximum borrowing is sum of paid up share capital and free reserve. Only that much you can borrow without consulting shareholders. Let's say, guys, right now in my books of accounts, try to understand my paid up share capital is 100 and my free reserve is 100. Okay, this is my equity share capital. Assume one more thing I want to tell you. This is my preference share capital. That is again, I would say 50 crores. This is my free reserve. already obtained long-term loans are 150. Okay? Long-term loan, term loan, I would say. It is 150. So tell me, by referring to the provisions without consulting or without taking the consent of the shareholders, what is the maximum loan the company can pursue just by passing the board resolution? So सीधे सी बात है. Total of this three is coming to how much? 250. 150 is already occupied. So what is the balance available? 100. So maximum loan what the company can borrow without passing special resolution is 100 crores. But if company has applied for 250, this would be ultra virus if before taking this loan special resolution is not passed in the general meeting. Just you imagine, guys, more loans means more interest. More interest, ultimately interest will be paid out of the shareholders funds. Na? Directors do not contribute out of their own pocket. Got it? So what I'm trying to say is that there are so many significant decisions which will not be initiated until and unless the consent of the shareholders is not taken. But the biggest question comes, how will you take the consent? Only one way is that get them gathered somewhere. Right? Concept and the place where all of them are getting together according to the law, that event is known as general meeting. Am I clear to all of you? In fact, if you ask me, general meeting is the parliament for the company. Yes or no? It is what? Parliament of the company where everybody is allowed to vote, no matter how much percentage you have. So sometimes we have the decisions like appointment of directors, removal of directors, appointment of auditor, removal of auditor, alterations of memorandum articles, buyback like decisions, capital reduction like decisions. Last time while I was teaching section 66, I told you that capital reduction would be allowed only if you take what? The permission of the tribunal. But one thing I forgot to tell you, now I just recollected. Before that you have to pass the special resolution. मैंने बोला था. तो कैपिटल रिडक्शन तब तक नहीं आएगा जब तक स्पेशल रेजोल्यूशन आप सबसे पहले पास नहीं करते. उसके बाद आप ट्रिब्यूनल, वो तो प्रेफरेंस शेयर में बोला था बच्चा. Whatever I said about the special resolution and tribunal, that was I think in preference share, not in the capital reduction. But still I'm telling you, capital reduction, special resolution plus tribunal's consent. Clear? Alright, I hope you have understood. So for me, general meeting is the parliament of the company. And let me tell you, it is the place to play a wonderful corporate politics. Just imagine, directors are appointed here, directors are getting removed here. Isn't it a powerful event? In fact, I want to tell you, I generally tell the students in CEO Foundation that while we were in the school, our teachers were used to use the statement, shareholder is the owner of company. Something like that you might be explained. Shareholder is the owner of the company. What if I say it was utter lie? Shareholder, okay. I have the evidence. Look, I don't take any stand until and unless I have the support of any evidence. Assume that here Mr. Sparsh is holding one share of Reliance Industries Limited. He goes to Reliance Industries Limited and tells the guard, tell Mukesh Ambani, owner aaya hai. Do you really think that guard will allow you even to enter in the factory? Just one share. Shareholder is the owner. ओनर ऐसे होते हैं, बंदा फैक्ट्री में घुसने नहीं दे रहा है, इसको ओनर बोलते हैं. So in what sense the teacher said shareholder is the owner? Actually, let me tell you, shareholder is not the owner. Shareholders are the owners. So actually, the power comes in plurality. So until and unless the shareholders are getting united together, it doesn't form the power. It doesn't form the ownership. In the event where they are uniting together, and that event is nothing but general meeting. So it is the powerhouse, power source A lot of corporate changes may take place here. Lots of, like, I don't have words. But what is the important things, like whatever decisions you have taken in the general meeting, suppose, those would be valid only if the general meeting is conducted according to the law, by following the rules and the regulations provided in the law. Yes or no? That means the whole provision is starting here from the section number, let me tell you here, from the section number 88, and it will go till section 122. So just imagine guys, 88 to 122 back to back, all the sections belong to only one chapter, general meeting. Got the point? General meeting. सब कुछ general meeting में. If any of the provisions got violated, for example, meeting is called up but by wrong authority, meeting is called up but by providing wrong invitations. In fact, the invitations have also the rules. You have to invite the shareholders according to the law what is mentioned in section 101. Meeting is called up but the resolutions are not passed according to the section 114, section 107, 108, 109 and 110. And guys, court of this country and the tribunal has the right to nullify all the decisions taken in the general meeting. So just imagine, just today you have distributed laddus, that you are the director, but the tribunal says, sorry, as the general meeting procedure is not duly followed, all the decisions taken place there, we treat them as null and void. Your laddu distribution cost will be your additional expenses. Do you understand what I am saying? जनरल मीटिंग का एक भी रूल अगर फॉलो नहीं किया बेटा, तो अंदर लिए गए सारे फैसले, सारे डिसीजंस कोर्ट नलीफाई कर सकती है. तो बड़े इस चैप्टर को साधारण समझने की कोशिश मत कीजिए. हर एक चीज जो है काफी शिद्दत से तैयार करनी पड़ेगी. दैट मीन्स ईच एंड एवरी मोमेंट यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर विद वेरी केयरफुलनेस. Invitation, authority, chairman, conducting of the meeting, agenda, discussions, votings, minutes, resolutions. Oh God, lots of things are there. Lots of. Am I clear? All right, guys. So with this, before I start, let's start with the first type of the general meeting, and that is the annual general meeting. All right. So the question going like this. Questions हम डायरेक्ट शुरू करते हैं. Explain the provisions regarding conducting first AGM and subsequent AGM with privilege of with privilege of extension. Okay, बच्चे, make it 4 stars. Very, very, very important as far as your exam is concerned. Please complete that. हाँ, हाँ, सब समझाऊंगा. अभी सिर्फ क्वेश्चन लिख लो, या ये भी लिख लो, as per section 96 of the act. So let's discuss about this now. As far as section 96 is concerned, we have the two types, right? This is section 96, and it can be classified into the two parts. This is the part number 1, and this is the part number 2. Part 1 is nothing but 96 subsection 1, and part 2 is 96 subsection. Part 1 is 96 subsection 1, part 2 is 96 subsection 2. This is about the first annual general meeting, and this part deals with subsequent AGMs. And what content we are finding as far as our exam is concerned, and that is what is the last date to conduct these two AGMs. The last date to conduct these AGMs. Okay, I think I should not make more. Okay, okay. Wait. Let me give the question to the other students. Suppose there is a company, let's say company XYZ Limited, which is incorporated as on 11th November 2021, right? What shall be the last date on or before which the first AGM should have been conducted? So that's what the first question here. In case company failed on due date, can it seek for the extension? Can it seek for the extension? Okay. So when we learn about the 96, it is written that first AGM shall be conducted within the period of 9 months. Within the period of 9 months. The first AGM shall be conducted within the period of how much? 9 months. So you have the 11th, 2021 at the 9 months. What's the new date comes there? Come on, I think it is coming the 11th August 2022, right? That's what the date comes, right? This is the wrong date, बच्चा. देखो यही है, समटाइम्स हम पढ़ तो लेते हैं लेकिन हमसे गलतियां हो जाती है. कम टू हियर 96. देखो 96 क्या कहता है. सो 96 किधर गया भाई. हाँ, these are the contents of the AGM. So it is written that first AGM shall be conducted within the period of what? Within the period of 9 months. But guys, 9 months not from the date of incorporation, but 9 months from the date of closing the first financial year. So श्रेयस ने पहले आंसर दे दी है, परफेक्ट आंसर थी. So 11th November 2021, what shall be the first financial year end? It shall be 31st March 2022. Got it? And over there you have to add the 9 months. So the actual answer is coming, guys, 31st December 2022. On or before which you should have to go. So trick आएगी, ध्यान रखना बेटा. देखो, uh, I insist the students who are sitting in the class, if you really want to enjoy the session, लिखते रहो, छोटा मोटा इधर उधर लिखते रहो. Keep yourself engaged. If you can write in your notebook, या अपने किताब में भी लिख सकते हो, कहीं पे मार्जिन उधर भी लिख सकते हो, ठीक है. पर लिखते रहो यार, कहीं ना कहीं तो दिमाग एंगेज रहेगा कम से कम. Till this clear? Okay, guys. But if I want to make the situation more tough, right? I will ask this question like this. Same question I want to repeat. कुछ फर्क नहीं. Same question. But I will just change like this. Instead of 11, the answer, like the thing is 11 February 2022. Now what shall we answer? Everything is same. Nothing is changed. Everything is same. बच्चा कुछ भी नहीं बदला. अब बताइए आपकी आंसर क्या होगी for this question? भाई इधर 6 लगाइए, ध्यान रख. 24 कहाँ से लेकर आया? 23 भी नहीं, 24. 23 अब बदल रहा है तू. अच्छा 22 तो नहीं आएगा किसी भी हिसाब से, नहीं आएगा ना. मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कैसे. अच्छा जब नवंबर में आया था तो मानेंगे. अच्छा जनवरी होता तो 11th जनवरी. अच्छा 23 is the correct answer. That's what he is saying. बाप रे यार, what a batch. मान गए जनाब. दिल से निकली हुई आवाज इतनी सचोट कैसे हो सकती है. जवाब पहले वाला गलत था, दूसरा सही है. The actual answer is 31st December 23. But what logic you will write in exam? Because you see, 11th February 2022, generally we believe that the next financial year end will be 31st March 2022, but ऐसा नहीं है. Why? You come to the definition section. आइए बेटा, आज आपको पढ़ाता हूँ कि फाइनेंशियल ईयर की डेफिनेशन क्या है. So when you come to here, subsection 41, section 2, subsection 41, guys, we have the definition of the financial year. So it is mentioned here that आजा पर बाप रे कितने सारे. हाँ, in relation to any company or body corporate, financial year means the period ending on 31st day of the March every year. So that we accept it. Year always ended at 31st March, but where it has been incorporated on or after first day of January. So it doesn't make sense that we should prepare the financial statements for only 3 months. So these 3 months would be added in next year's financial year. So what is written? The period ending on the 31st day of the March of the following year. What do you mean by following? Next year. So guys, try to understand if it is registered on or after 1st January, then upcoming March will not be the financial year and following year will be the financial year end. So for these guys, I would say the financial year end will be 31st March, not 2022 but 2023, and now add 9 months over there. So you will get here what? You will definitely get here 31st December 2023. So this is how you should proceed. This is how you should proceed. Okay, now before, okay, extension I will explain in the, I would say subsequent AGM, but try to understand no extension can be granted. No extension can be granted in case of failure to conduct first AGM. Now, what is the concept of extension? That's what I would say. I think my spelling is wrong. ये आता ना extension spelling कौन सी यही आता है मेरे हिसाब से. So what is extension? Sometimes you see if you failed to conduct the AGM on due time, you have to pay penalty. However, if you go to central government and request that there were certain reasons so that we could not conduct the general meeting on time, AGM on time, central government will give you the extension. Means like you can extend your period, but that period cannot exceed more than 3 months. So if I ask you today in the MCQ that what's the maximum power of the central government to grant extension, so what should be your answer? 3 months. But guys, these 3 months extension facility is available to subsequent AGMs and not to the first AGM. Am I clear? ठीक है. So ये यहाँ पे पूरी कहानी खत्म हो गई. 96 subsection 1, whatever I wanted to discuss, I concluded. ठीक है. Now let's go to 96 subsection 2. What is 96 subsection 2? It is saying that I'm giving you one date, okay, and you have to tell me what shall be the due date for the next annual general meeting. Are you ready? ये देखो. Date of last AGM is assume 16th August 2022. Tell me the date of the next AGM. And if this question comes that extension is allowed, yes, extension is allowed because look, it is written the date of last AGM. That means now we are talking about the next AGM. That means whatever AGM we are talking about, it is not the first AGM. And if it is not the first AGM, it is subsequent AGM. If it is subsequent AGM, that means extension is possible if you request to the central government. July. Okay, 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 okay. So what you have done, like you added what, 9 months? Some blur idea about the concept. Good. Hmm? All right. So let me tell you guys when any random date is given in your exam like this. So how would you proceed? So nobody can answer this question directly until and unless he knows about these three conditions. So law says that subsequent AGM shall be conducted on or before the date which is the least of or earlier of the following three, or when the following three conditions are satisfied. So let me tell you guys, if you want to calculate the last date of the subsequent AGM. These are the three conditions the date should match. Okay. So last date for subsequent AGM. First is it should have to be conducted once in a calendar year. Once in a calendar year. Second is within 6 months from the end of financial year. Third, the gap between two AGMs shall not exceed more than 15 months. Am I clear? So these three conditions need to be satisfied if you want to calculate the last AGM date. Okay. Now apply these three conditions on the above explanation. So what's the new date is coming? So once in a calendar year, so already we have completed 2022. अरे बोलो मेरे भाई. So now we have to discuss about what 2023. What is the last date in the 2023? What is the last date in the 2023? 31st December. कितना दिमाग लगा रहे हो? Within 6 months from the end of the financial year, if I take the 16th August 2022 as my financial, I would say the base date when the financial year is getting ended for this 31st March 2023. Add 6 months over there. So another date is coming 30th September 2023. Guys, 16th August 2022. You have to add 12 plus 3, that means 15 months. If you add the 12 months, you will get the date of 16th August 2023 plus you add the 3 months. So August plus 3, September, October, November. So new date what is coming over here is 16th 11 2023. ये सही है ना भाई? 16th 11 2023. Which one is the least? Which date will satisfy all the three conditions? 30th September, 30th September 2023. And therefore, my dear students, answer to this question would be 30th September 2023. So, two conclusions. Yes, last date to conduct the AGM is possible to calculate, and extension is allowed for the subsequent if you request by justifying the reasons why didn't you hold on the time, and if government shows the mercy, your penalty may be wiped out. Possible. Possible. अरे यार, हाँ भाई तेरा जोर से मत बजो. ठीक है. So that is all about section 96. Whatever I wanted to discuss. Whatever I wanted to discuss. Clear? Now another question. Don't worry, I will not extend it. Just a question and a discussion I will do in the next class. Okay? So the question goes like this: that in order to conduct a valid meeting, what are the requisitions? Like, what are the requisitions? So prerequisites. What are the prerequisites? Prerequisites means like before starting the general meeting, what conditions need to get satisfied. So if you want to conduct a valid general meeting, guys, you need to satisfy these three conditions. Condition number one, it must have been properly convened. Second is it must have been properly constituted. And the last one is it must have been properly conducted. Properly stands for nothing but by following the law, right? Properly conducted. These are the three different requirements अगर हमको जाना है तो. So as being the students, now we have to understand that what are the conditions for the properly convened, what are the conditions for the properly constituted, and what are the conditions for the properly conducted. And we are going to do this in very much in depth and in detail. ठीक है, बट वो नेक्स्ट क्लास में करेंगे, आज नहीं, आज के लिए इतना रखते हैं. ठीक है, थैंक यू.